with all of Manhattan glittering under the night sky.
Talk about completing this one for Heinrich. He has 17 points, and he's buried a ton of three-pointers in this game, too.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of just how many of those he's hit.
The Knicks leading by 5. And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. So for Chicago right now, we've got Marcus Teague. Dang out there with Taj Gibson. And there's Heinrich. And that is good. That's 10 points for J.R. Smith.
Broke out the finger roll, guys. That was kind of a stylish finish.
Guys, Kenyon Martin was signed by the Knicks towards the end of last season as they dealt with a litany of injuries, and he really delivered. I mean, he's 35 years old, microfracture surgery on both knees, but he's still got some bounce in those legs, and we know he's got plenty of intensity.
And Udrich kicks to Anthony. Off target from three-point range.
You know, even though he missed that one, great shooters have a way of feeling when they've got enough room to pull the trigger.
Yeah, not enough defensive coverage there to prevent him from firing that time, but I think if he's open, he's got to let that thing fly.
And there's the foul. Goes on Taj Gibson. That's his first foul. And you look at Kenyon Martin, not the biggest frame inside, 6'9", about 240, but he is still a difference maker on the defensive end.
Yeah, he is shot blocker, tough defender, never backs down, and always has done a good job finishing in the lane. Remember, he was the #1 overall draft pick back in 2000.
And it's Smith missing. Bulls trail by 5. Kicks to Heinrich. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. It's stolen by Smith. And we're just about a minute and a half into the third quarter of basketball. Plenty of room to knock down the shot. Smith's got 12.
His presence is very comforting for this team. He's kind of a fallback option for them anytime they need it.
Snell. No good with the triple.
The clear look at the hoop, he doesn't miss many of those.
The drive by Anthony. And he banks in the layup. And it's a 9-point New York lead. Now the Bulls shooting well. They're at 45%. The kick out to Dang. Feeds it to T. Pass to Heinrich. Lets it go with a 3. And again, no good by Chicago.
The Bulls offense staggered at times, guys. And one reason that was the case last season is they didn't have a chance.
And here's a check of the 2K leaderboard in the top rebounding shooting guards of the past 10 games. Second is J.R. Smith.
You know, it's not easy to do what these players have done in that area, strictly because of positioning. Typically, as a two-guard, you're going to be on the perimeter a lot more often than you will be inside.
Yeah, but for all of these guys, you can point to their quickness as well as their superb instincts as to why they wound up on the list. I mean, you've got to have that nose for the basketball.
Udrich, the pass to Smith. Shot clock at 5. Offline from the high post. And Clark, you mentioned the Bulls last season without Derrick Rose, not the flashiest offense, and Steve, that hurt him.
You know, having said that, I mean, that was a team that played relatively slow even with Derrick Rose. But last year, particularly slow, 27th in the league in fast break points. Look, this is a team that hangs its hat on defense and rebounding, and the fans love them for it. But to make that next step, they're going to have to improve their offense considerably.
Knocked away. And the foul on Marcus Teague. And that'll be his third foul so far.
That's his third personal foul. Third team foul.
Right around 3 minutes into the second half. Out of bounds, Knicks ball as New York keeps possession of it.
Taking a look here at some numbers for Amari Stoudemire. Showing up amongst the best. They love what they've seen from him the last couple of weeks. Second in field goal percentage. And he's also blocked enough shots to put him in the top 15 in that important defensive category.
And let's look at his phenomenal field goal percentage again, Steve. I mean, that's really a function of good teammates, a good system. But most of it is just taking good shots and making most of them.
Stoudemire off the pick from Martin. Just 5 to shoot. The drive by Anthony. The finger roll finish at the bucket. Anthony's got 6.
They've been getting way too many high percentage looks close to the basket, and tell you what, when they're getting them, they're converting.
You know, the play in the paint, an aspect of this game that has gone entirely their way.
Butler dishes to Murphy. Pass to Dang. Chicago needs to get off a shot here. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out east. Already we are in December. Taking a look at New York. Off to a great start this season. Currently in second. And of course Chicago, 4.5 games behind.
Checking out New York. They've been playing well to start the season. I mean, once again, asserting themselves as one of the powerhouse ball clubs in the league. I like what I've seen from this team so far.
And they know better than anybody. You know, the NBA season is a marathon, not a sprint. But nonetheless, they've certainly been hot out of the gates.
And that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending call right there.
Well, one of the things that makes him special is his tendency to become red hot in just a matter of seconds. And you never know when it's coming. You know, all it takes is a shot or two, and he's rolling.
You know, something else with him, you can't forget about his skill as a pull-up shooter. I mean, you give him too much room, and he won't hesitate for a second to raise up and spray you with that J.
Bargnani is checked in for the Knicks. Felton comes in for Benaruda. The dish now to Murphy. Trying to get back on track. Dang. Here's Butler. Connects from three-point range. Butler's got 8 points.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
Felton kicks to Bargnani. It's Carmelo Anthony on the wing. New York moving the ball around. Here's Martin, and it's blocked by Dang. Murphy against Felton. Here's Muhammad, and the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play.
Outstanding job there to absorb the contact and guide it in.
That's how you impose your will against the defender. He came to play.
Bulls making a switch here. Boozer's checked in. Free throw good, Muhammad. Felton with the ball, averaging 13 points a contest. Smith outside. Back to Felton. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Boozer's got his 3rd rebound on the night.
You know, to me, one reason why Carlos Boozer is such a valuable scorer is that he can hurt you in a multitude of ways inside. He can hit the rainbow jumper of his, and when he's back to the basket, can go over both shoulders very well.
Kirk Heinrich, he's checked in for Nazi Muhammad. Here's Felton, and goaltending is going to be the call, so they get the basket there anyway.
He clearly had the speed advantage there, and he used it to burn the D for the sweet hoop. Nice play.
He kicks it to Rose. Pass to Gibson. It's stolen by Smith. Felton goes in. Smith. And that comes off the assist by Raymond Felton. Felton was just his dad tied his right hand to his waist, so he'd have to develop his left, and that was something that he worked on even more when he went to Duke.
Well, yeah, his left hand is fantastic. I mean, that's his preferred hand when he's finishing around the rim. A right-handed jump shooter, but anything around the basket is usually his left. So he probably owes his dad a debt of gratitude for tying him up all the time.
That's one way to put it. Butler kicks to Rose. Shot clock at 6. They get it again. Heinrich outside. Buries it from three-point range. Heinrich's got 20 points.
And we've seen a few mix-ups defensively out there on the perimeter.
More than a few. I mean, the open looks they've allowed from long range have turned into a lot of points.
Here's what the schedule says for the New York Knicks and what it looks like. It's off to Boston for them after this game as they take on the Celtics. That'll be just one game played away from home for them.
I think a lot of people will be paying close attention to that Boston game, guys.
Bargnani passes to Smith, and there's the foul. Goes on Tyrese Gibson. That'll be his second foul. Checked in for New York. Smith for three. Rebound by Butler. Butler's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
Well, remember, he made 2 3-pointers in the first half, but has not been able to get anything to fall here in the second.
There's Rose with the 3. And out of bounds as the Knicks gain possession. And what hot hands have been coming from the ranks of the small forwards this past month. A look at the leading shooting percentages for those players. Second, Carmelo Anthony.
Well, that is such an efficient group offensively. That's really the best way to describe them. Nothing forced, just solid, smart shots.
And at small forward, that's the only way to post that kind of percentage. I mean, just letting them fly from the perimeter isn't going to get it done. You got to get it inside some, too.
And here we go, the Bulls fast break. And it's Butler with the jam.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Felton kicks to Udoh. Smith. Dishes to Bargnani. Back to Smith. Smith missing again. Bulls trail by 6. Rose passes to Gibson, and the basket good. Gibson's got 4 points now in the quarter.
That's the kind of aggressive and assertive play they need as we get closer and closer to crunch time.
No question. Pound it into the painted area and continue to put pressure on that defense.
Anthony backing him down. Felton back to Anthony. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
And when Melo attacks off, that's when he's really at his best. He's got excellent ball handling skills and footwork for a player of his size. And whether putting the ball in his hands in the pick and rolls or just isoing him in that pinch post area, he is very tough to defend when he gets ahead of steam going.
First free throw is good. And for Carmelo, attacking the rim makes a lot of sense. His three-point shot has been streaky over the years. But he looks like he's at least trying, Steve, to diversify his offense.
Well, I think he needs to attack more often. He can settle for threes. Sometimes he has a tendency to do that. But he's so strong and so quick that I think he's best suited when he really attacks the hole and gets to the foul line.
Both free throws good from Anthony.
You know, during last season, Melo said that he felt the team they had in place was talented enough to compete with anybody. I agree with him, and that might be the first time in his career that was the case. He had a team that he was that confident in.
Murphy dishes to Rose. Heinrich back to Rose. Lets it fly. That one off the back iron and out.
Oh, boy, he is just cold as ice. I don't think he's going to be the one to help them cut into the lead.
And for Anthony and the Knicks, they weathered their share of injuries but remains in the East in the regular season.
And for Anthony, Kevin, it's got to be nice to play in New York where he was born. He's helped bring this Knicks franchise back to prominence.
And that one misses. Luol Deng is checked in for Carlos Boozer. That one misses.
Kevin, it's disheartening to see them keep missing opportunities to extend the lead at the line. I mean, when you have a chance to put a team away from the line, you want to take advantage of that. You don't want to give them a chance to come back on it.
1:49 left in the third. Anthony with it, now guarded by Murphy. And Udrich gets it to go. And what's your take guys on the hustle sticks for New York?
Boy, defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys. And all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
Another factor here tonight has been the amount of points they've scored off turnovers. They're not as aggressive from the outside here, but maybe they should think about stretching the defense a little bit, like they did in the first half. I mean, stretching the defense makes it easier to score inside, too.
Gets it to go.
He's a grinder. Love what he does under the offensive boards, really bringing energy and life to his team.
And it's good. That's now 8 points for Luol Deng.
Just seems like they're finding an open lane to the hoop every time down. That's 5 buckets in a row for them in the paint.
Yeah, on the flip side, Steve, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior.
They get it back. The shot by Anthony, no good.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
The 8-footer. Dang, that's good. Now just a 5-point New York lead.
You know, they're being very one-dimensional right now, going to the post every time. But if it works, you don't need another dimension.
Well, they're taking this defense to task, quite honestly. Every one of their last 10 points have come in the paint.
And Udrih gets it to go. Udrih has got 7. Bulls trail by 7. Dunleavy covered by Anthony. And there's the pass to Deng. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. The shot by Heinrich, no good. New York's gotten 1 of 6 3-pointers to drop since coming out of the locker room at halftime. Here's Udrih, defended by Dunleavy. The feed to Tyler. Comes up empty from 19 feet out. And we've reached the end of the third. Knicks lead by 7. And we're just moments away from the start of the fourth quarter. Stay with us.